During August, when you purchase the whole ball of wax at LAWntrepreneurAcademy.com and use the code LAL2024, you receive $250 off and one free ticket to LAWNtrepreneur Academy Live 2024 this November in Novi, Michigan. Seize the moment and elevate your lawn care business with our most comprehensive package. You get full access to all training programs, including a one-on-one coaching call with Brian. The whole ball of wax includes free lifetime upgrades to future editions with a few exclusions. It's over $3,500 in programs and resources for $14.99, and we're going to take an extra $250 off that price. This is easily saving you over 50% compared to buying a la carte. If you've been contemplating making your move to the top, now is the time to act. The clock is ticking, and this offer ends August 31st. Turn your aspirations into achievements with LAWNtrepreneur Academy's whole ball of wax. Use code LAL2024 and you receive $250 off and one free ticket to LAWNtrepreneur Academy Live 2024. We've provided a link in the show description.
You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, it's Mr. Producer welcoming you back to another edition of Fullerton Unfiltered. Brian has something special for you today. We're going to be diving into an exclusive recording from our weekly Link membership call where some of the best in the lawn care business share their recent wins and strategies for success. In this episode, you'll hear firsthand how these savvy business owners are securing those coveted contracts and standing out in a crowded market. They'll reveal their secrets on winning bids and even share some practical tips that you can start using right away to make sure that your company shines. So fire up the mower, turn up the ISO tunes, and get ready to soak up some valuable insights that can help take your lawn care business to that next level that we're always talking about. Thanks again for tuning in. Let's jump into it.
We're going to talk about bidding sites, bidding and coaching on commercial sites. If you guys have any questions, that's what today's theme, if you will. If you guys are new here, we have kind of themes once a week. In a couple of weeks, we'll have another special guest, which is really cool. But I always try to answer questions that Bethany pulls from the Facebook group. And so we've got a running list of questions that people bring. But if you're on this and you guys are real time and you got a question, put it in the chat. I try to put you guys at the front of the line, if you will, since you guys are investing time to be here. Sometimes people ask questions and they watch the replays the next day or next week. But like I said, there's 30 or 40 of you guys, 20 guys right now hopping on in here. So that being said, if you guys have real-time questions, put them in the chat. Anybody got a good weekly win with a commercial bidding site or a new snow or new lawn site? Anybody got anything cool that just came up? If so, pop the mic on, man, and give me a weekly win. I got one or two that I want to bring in here, but Andrew, what's up, bud? What do you got?
So I know a couple of weeks ago we talked about how you quote pruning jobs and kind of divided it up for that. So we had last week. So rewind it. That week we had that conversation. I did 2 jobs for no money, and obviously it was too late to renege on the quote that I submitted to these people. And of course, all day long I'm doing this program. I'm damn, all this money I should have waited to listen to these guys. Fast forward to this week, we had somebody reach out to us and we went and looked at the property. We quoted them for about a half day, just short of a half day. So we charged $650, and they're like, yeah, perfect. Sounds good. And it made the experience doing the work that day, so much more enjoyable. It's you're not stressing about time necessarily. You're like, all right, let's get this done. End of the day, customers super happy. We made money. And now they're referring their neighbors. They had neighbors this week. Hey, who did your work? It looks really good. Can we get their business card? So I've already had 2 people reach out already.
Wow.
From that one job.
Dude, that's awesome. Guys, put in the chat. Congrats, Andrew. That's freaking dope. Dude, my brain just starts turning out when you say stuff like that. Okay, the group's $29 a month. Give me a break. You just paid for membership for a year or 2 years from one question that you were able to ask a group last week or 2 weeks ago. Like, dude, that's so freaking awesome. Let me ask you, what if you didn't have everybody chipping in and weighing in on that? Because that was about 2 or 3 weeks ago, right? I remember that call. What do you think you would have bid those sites? Half that, maybe?
Probably, because we do. I think I listened to your mulch video in the spring. So my mulch is around 135. So that would have been the same. So we did do some mulch while we were there. I probably would have honestly charged them like $300. It's like 130 for the mulch, and then like, oh yeah, sure. Like,
yeah, we'll hit the shrubs, a couple $100, right? Yeah, I do. That's, first off, congratulations. How old are you again? 17, 18?
24.
24, sorry. You get the baby face, bro.
Yeah, I get that all the time.
Yeah. I was that way until like 30, and then I got the double chin, but that just came because I eat a lot of lobster tails. It sucks. Right, Lucas? It's a bad joke, but
it's cool. It's cool too. Like, after talking, you get, and I think Jeremiah, I think your video you posted on Instagram, you start getting that confidence. Because then I had somebody reach out for another job later this week, and they're like, oh, well, I talked to all their friend. They said they would do it for this. It's like, sorry, dude. Like, this is what we have to charge in order for us to stay in business.
I love that.
Well, what? Obviously, they come up with 100 different excuses, but it's like, it then gives you that confidence. Like, once you start doing a few of those jobs, it's like.
Yeah, and somebody was just talking about that. Maybe it was last week or something, or gosh, I don't even know, man. I was texting or DMing somebody. Lord knows what it's on. And I was just saying I don't bid sites or give prices to sites in person anymore. I forgive me if I said this last week or something. My brain's like beyond fried, but I just know I'm a people pleaser personality type, and I want to get the business right now because I'm like aggressive, and I'm like, yeah, dude, we can do it. And that's like my line. I'm like, hey, we're hungry for it. We're here to do a great job. But I constantly psychoanalyze myself why I still do this, and we all probably do it in some regard, is discount our price and price it to get it versus like price it to not get it. And I feel like I'm more apt to be more callous, more like, I don't care if I don't get it. If I go home, write it up, let Element talk to me, say, hey, here's what you should be at. And then I go, ooh, I don't know. But then I go, well, the numbers are probably right. Like, this is probably what I need to be charging. And then I zip it off versus, like you just said, if you're in person, you're like, yeah, we could print it for $300 or like $275, bro. It's all good. Versus you go home and you write it up on your software, or you just finally do some math and you realize, no, dude, this is $700 like all day, or $7,000 or $70,000. You know, for different guys that have bigger businesses.
I just got some advice kind of going along with like what you're saying from a business owner that's kind of a family friend, but kind of like trying to get under his wing as far as a mentor. He does HVAC. And he's like, what you got to do is kind of similar to what you're saying. It's like, never give somebody a number on the spot, and just explain to them, hey, I'm not trying to F you. I'm not trying to F myself. We're both trying to please both parties. And that's honestly the best advice. One of the best advice I've gotten from him is like, all right, look at it, analyze it, go home, shoot off the email. So then you're not just pulling something out of your bowl. So
I love it. Great job. Seriously, that's super awesome. And by the way, take that same mentality for your next 2-3 decades in your career. And if you just did that, let's just say you started charging 100% more for the work that you're doing on everything you've just said that you'd ever do in your lifetime career, you just added $2 to $4 million, $5 million, $10 million probably in new revenue or new profit to your lifetime career, just being intentional with your pricing. And I know that sounds like extreme, but if you extrapolate it, like, that's kind of the truth, bro. Like,
I already see it this year, just like what we're kind of like projected before this, and then the change is like, holy crap, this is going to like project us just like even more. So.
Love that. Yeah, CJ, he said, I've learned so much just being in this group. Congrats, Andrew. Damn lobster tails must be that YouTube money. I don't know if it's YouTube money. It's that's mulch money right there. Depends on the time of the year, right? Spring and fall aeration money. That's funny right there. Well, cool. Well, let's do this. Let's shift gears a little bit. Anybody else got another one they want to share like that? Because I love hearing these kind of growth stories, these testimony stories. I'll just share one really quick, but I'll tell you, Andrew, same thing. We were building a commercial site, small commercial building that I do. I only do the snow. We don't do the lawn. Not yet, at least. But I was going to bid it for $550 for the pruning, 4 yards of mulch, like $498, $125 a yard, right? And I put it in the LMN and it hits me back with like 7.25. And I'm like, well, that's like a 2-3 hour prune job. It's not that big of a deal. And literally, bro, I'm typing this up earlier in Blade Industries. It's a real business, right? And I'm going, wait a minute. Like my guys are going to lose a half a day being here, quote unquote. Like we have to make $1,500 a day with a 2-man crew. And so between the mulch and the pruning, I don't know, we'll have probably a 30, 40, 50% margin on that job. Versus me already even the same thing, dude, going, no, we'll do it for 500 or 550. And, it's 3.5, 4 yards of mulch. We can do it for 375. And I'm like, what are you doing? But like, that's why I have to slow down and make sure I'm pricing the work correctly. So I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Anybody else got one that you guys want to add? Alan Lemire, I saw you unmuted,
yeah.
bro. What's up?
I'm going to do my third $10,000 a week over the year this year. So.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What's that comprised of?
So I have 35 weekly mows, and then lawn fertilization and a few mosquito and ticks, and then just one small landscape trimming job. It was like $500 that I just added during a mow. Is
that just you, or do you got a couple guys, or how does that work?
Me and one guy that works 30 to 40 hours a week with me.
Wow. Dude, that's a freaking good week, man. That's a good week.
It'll be my third one. It's insane.
That's
yeah.
It doesn't take but a couple of good weeks like that to string together a good month, and a couple good months like that to string together a good year.
Yeah, I think not next week, the week after I should hit 100K.
Wow. In revenue, gross revenue?
Yeah.
Have you ever hit that before?
Oh, that's my first year.
Dude, hell yeah. Bro, congrats. I'm putting that in the chat.
Yeah.
I might just do this all night. I don't give a crap. We can talk bidding, but shit, if we talked about bidding the last couple of weeks and you guys have the results coming in, let's talk about results. By the way, I don't know my congrats, dude. I don't know why my DMs are just going to like individual people. Every time it always defaults. Bethany, we got to figure out why that does that, if you don't mind. Like, I'll just be saying like congrats to like just Andrew or something. I don't know why my chat does that. Does anybody else chat do that? No? Bueller? All right. I'm mentally deficient here. So $2,500 landscape job last week, Carter. Is that like one of your bigger jobs, Carter?
Yep, that was one of my bigger ones.
What does that look like?
So what we did is we tore out all of the mulch and then laid some really nice looking stone down and tore out a couple bushes, and then I bid it all through LMN, told me what to charge, and calculated my overhead, and it's awesome.
Isn't it sweet? By the way, everybody loves the LMN pitch, right? But they do have a new tier that I just saw came out last week, and it's like $300 some a month. So for some of you guys that are looking at LMN or want to get started with LMN, it was like $500 or add a couple of users and it's $500-600. The new tier is probably as good as it's going to get pricing wise. So if you guys are giving it a fair shake, I was just talking to some of the LMN folks the other day with my onboarding guy as he's helping me build some more snow templates and our pricing. And I'm like, does it come with this? And he goes, yeah. I'm like, what about this? He goes, yeah. Frankly, that's probably the tier I would have jumped on instead of the $500 a month package. So just a little FYI, unless you guys are doing a couple million and needs a couple other the bigger features, you don't really, in my opinion, need the pro level, the entry level. For most guys, you could take a company to 3, 4, 5 million, no problem. So just, I didn't say that part out loud, but that's the truth. But it's like $300 a month. And I know a lot of guys are using Jobber in the group, which is great, but you're also missing out like the company budget and the overhead and your estimating tools. For $100 more a month, you get all that. And like Carter was just saying, you can like 100% know your numbers and know what to charge. that's worth a fair shake, just so anybody's watching or listening in. So, but dude, Carter, great job, man. Proud of you. We might just do this all night. You know what I'm saying? One thing I was going to say is, I'll add one more quick story. And if anybody else has got another one, like say something in the chat, but I did a commercial site that I submitted a quote for last year, winter. They email me, they say, hey, can we get some info? I said, sure, let me get you a bid. I said, are you looking for lawn, snow? Like, where are you guys at? And they said, for the upcoming snow, but definitely lawn care for next year, possibly too. Well, I threw together a contract and proposal. I didn't really spend a ton of time on it because I don't even know why. I just remember I didn't spend a lot of time on it. I knew kind of what it would be pricing wise. So I submit it. The guy hits me back and says, this looks pretty fair. Unfortunately, I just realized from our facility manager, we're under a 2-year contract. We have to finish out the snow and the lawn with the previous company still. So unfortunately, I can't switch. Hey, no big deal. Well, a year goes by, like, dude, you snap your fingers and we're already right back to where we were. So I just started bidding that site last week, had a great site tour and site walk around. Actually, let me do this really quick. I want to show you guys. I thought this was really, really cool. Let me see if I can share what I asked the guy. I said, I'm going to put this in chat. If anybody wants to read this in chat. I think this is really cool nuance. If you guys think it's cool. If you don't, kick me out of the group and ask Mark to lead this thing because he's probably better at this anyway. So here's what he sent me. He's like, hey, we want you to come look at the site. So I said, yeah, sure. I'm excited, right? But I said, could you give me a little bit? And I got this out of Mark Bradley's LMN webinar series a couple of weeks ago. It was like asking like power questions, power moves, different direction type questions. And I asked Mark in the chat, I said, how do you ensure that you get selected for the site when you don't get to usually talk to the decision maker? I said, like, that's super frustrating to me. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I lose more sites, not from price, but because they're taking on 1, 2, 3 bids, and then they give it, some lady or guy collects it and then gives it to her or his boss. I never get to build rapport, build a relationship, break down the walls, have some humor, make a connection, right, with that person. So they're just like justice of the blind or whatever. They just randomly pick the best price, right? Quote unquote, low price bid. And that sucks. So I asked Mark a couple questions. Mark gave what I believe a home run, phenomenal answer. So I hit this guy, Kevin, back because last year I bid the site, I didn't get it. And yeah, it was because the other company was still under contract, but I'm like, there's more there, right? Like anybody can get out of anything. So I said, Kevin, can you get this? I felt like this was really good. You guys can copy these or screenshot or whatever you want to do. But I said, Kevin, could you give me a little bit more about how I can best help you guys with your site? I know we submitted a bid last fall, but the team had decided to stick with the current previous provider. And so you guys ever hear something like most people's first objection isn't the real objection? Like this is like sales kind of like 101 type stuff. Well, I said, can I ask what makes you guys shop for a new provider? How is the previous company doing and what do you not like? And how can we best partner up with you guys to ensure that we could earn the work? If you guys are bidding sites, like those are like real, like those are right out of Mark Bradley's mouth, who I think his lifetime business revenue was like 650 million. This guy's like a sales killer. Actually, Mark is more of a sales killer than you guys could ever imagine. Like if you find him, bug him about sales. Like he is so flat, so chill, so calm, but the dude is literally a master sales guy. You wouldn't even really pick up on it with his demeanor, but he's not the loud talkative guy. He's the listener and one shot, one kill sniper rifle kind of guy, who's even more dangerous probably because he's a good listener. So let me just wrap this up really quick with that thought. Kevin hit me back. He said, I said, can I ask what makes you guys shop for a new provider? He said, substandard work, the trimming is not completed, and bills not being submitted as required for payment. So think about this really quick. Like this is all about bidding and coaching hour tonight, right? So if I go in there and say, oh, our price is $10 cheaper, 10% better, substandard work, trimming not completed, and the bills are not being submitted as required for payment. So two things there. One, I'm not even talking the dude's language. And two, if I try to bid on price, I'm already going to leave profit on the table. Isn't that wild? And I'm saying, like, I'm learning. Like, I know this stuff, but like to actually engage your brain in it, it's like totally different. He said, how was the previous company? And I said, how's the previous company doing? What do you not like? He said, not so well. They're just not really like a professional service. See the above comments. So I go there, do a site walkthrough with the guy, spend a half hour there, which I hate doing because it takes time out of my schedule. And so we're walking around the whole time and he just goes, yeah, he goes, the other guy, like he just kind of edges when he wants. He just kind of trims when he wants. He's in different clothes and outfits. He's definitely like the guy that works here's friend. And yeah, he's got a pickup, but we don't even know if he's like really even insured for what we do. And, everybody's bidding against that guy. That's okay. I was that guy like 8 years ago. But what am I doing the whole time? No, we're a professional outfit. We're licensed. We're insured. When we do your site, you'll get photos real time in your portal that you get the access to see when we were there. You get weather reports for snow and salt. You'll get photos for any work that we do lawn and landscape. You can request service. Like that sounds like a professional outfit, right? And then last one, and hopefully I'm not boring you guys too much with this, but I think this is really good stuff. How can we best partner up with you guys to ensure that we can earn the work? He said, if you want to come out and walk through the properties to know what we are expecting and see if that is a service that you'd like to work for. So not the best, obviously home run answer with that one from the gentleman. But if you get 1 and 2 and I can sell him on, hey, I'll take away all your problems with 1 and 2, that's basically solving for Y, right? The good old A squared plus B squared equals C squared. I guess it's the first time math's ever worked in my favor for business. But anyway, but I thought that was really, really helpful. And I don't know if anybody's got any questions on that, let me know. But it was a site that I was just really excited about going in there and kind of getting like a second shot. I didn't really like mess it up the first time, but I just went in like more thoughtful, like not just, all right, let's wing it. Let's go in there. I'll hear the guy out and, I'll make a sale because I'm awesome. It was more like, hey, why did we not get it last time? What is he looking for? How can I make sure that I give him options that he gets the pick? But obviously, whatever he picks, I win. And for any of you guys that are out there, like bidding some of these sites, whether residential or commercial, just maybe a little memory jogger is to like, obviously be a good listener and ask more questions. Like before you start talking about yourself, or if you find yourself talking about yourself, probably a good time to ask more questions about them and what they're looking for. And I was just humbled by that experience last week, that I still have a lot to learn. So even Mr. Sales marketing guru of the world, YouTuber, right? So shocker. If anybody's got any questions on that, feel free to speak up. Yeah, Lucas, what's up, bud?
So kind of like a weekly win. It goes along with that, but it goes along with what we were just talking about. I had a bid that I tried to, or a property that like a mini HOA, like 65 houses. And it finally is coming for, availability for the 3 years starting in 2025. And he's like, yeah, let's meet at the property. So that way we can talk about some things. So I get there, we're sitting there, like it's like a full on meeting that I had no idea that was even coming. Right. And he's talking to me and, hey, tell me about your business. Tell me about like what you guys do. And I noticed when I started asking him these exact questions, like, hey, why are you guys bidding, this out? Are you guys unhappy? What specific things can I'm asking these like specific questions to him. And he told me straight up, like, hey, I'm having like 4 or 5 people bid this. And so I'm asking him these questions. And every time I ask him, he's just like he's never been asked these questions before. And so I think, I don't know if that's like a popular thing. I don't know if people, just kind of like go through the motions with bidding. And when you start to ask the actual real questions, they start to expose themselves a little bit, because I was like, without asking for the contract, I kind of asked for the previous contract, like, hey, what's the scope of work look like right now? Like, can I see that with the pricing and stuff? And he's like, yeah, I can do that. And I was like, all right, yeah, cool. I would love that. I would love to see, because I was like, on here it says that you want edging once a month. Why is that? Do you want it to look the best, or is it like a money thing? Oh, that's just what they do. I was like, okay, like stuff like that. Like, oh, I just want you to do the front yards of leaf removal. Well, is it because the previous guy was charging too much, or is it because you just want the front yards? Like, so like when you start asking questions like, is price a factor? Do you care about like what is their hot point or hot button? I think you can start finding out some answer. That's what worked with us. I think we got the account. I mean, I'll find out in the next 2 days, but it's like a $55,000 year account for 3 years without snow. So it's a big account.
Dude, that's so awesome. Like, it makes me think. I wanted to circle back to what you had just asked. Like, is this what other people do, or they just don't do, or they just go through the motions? Clearly, right? I mean, I've been doing this for 15, 16 years. I asked Mark, there's a webinar, I don't know, 50 people, 200 people, 2,000 people. I don't know. You don't really get to see on the webinar, like who's on. And Mark's like, hey, any questions? And I'm like, it's a very successful individual. Not a dang question's getting asked other than like, what made the LMN logo go green with the play button? I'm like, this is your question. Like, I mean, like, God bless anybody, but it's just like, I don't know. I don't get access to people like that. I don't want to be poor. So I'm like, hey, Mark, what's the best way for me to ensure that I guarantee that I get business? And Mark's like, that's a great question. Boom, boom, boom. And I'm like you just said, Lucas, that's that account, 15 to 20 in snow, easy. 40 to 50% margin, easy. We'll do another like 30 to 50% of that in lawn and landscape. Maybe 100% if we can upsell some good landscape upsells. But that's a 30, like you just said, $20,000-$30,000 account that I'm looking at by asking 3 silly questions from a dude that gave this away for free. And I just don't understand how there's not there's 100,000 lawn and landscape pros, and there's only 50 people on tonight or whatever, and there's 50 people on Mark's thing. And I'm not putting anybody down, but I'm just thinking to myself, do people not know what's on this stuff? Like, how do you, I mean, and frankly, like, I can't save them all. You guys can't save them all. So glad that you guys are here, and I'm glad that I'm here because you guys inspire me, like I say, every week. But dude, that's just such a wild thought, isn't it, Lucas? Like, how are other people not asking these questions? Where are we coming up with this stuff?
Right. And it's one of the things, like, I also did the Element Mastermind last fall or winter or whatever it was. But I also went to the Element Summit. So, like, it's almost like once you gain the knowledge of what actual successful companies are doing, like the bigger companies are doing, and you're like, you look back like 3 months ago, it's like, how did I not know this? And why is no one talking about this? And then you can't go backwards type thing. It's like you're kind of like on the train and you're going. So you're just like 9 coffees a day, just staying up trying to get this. Like that's my life.
It opens up your mind to what is possible, right? And then you really, like you just said, you take the guesswork out of it, and you realize, oh, hey, like other people aren't guessing on this. Like there's a system here, there's a strategy, there's a plan. And if you guys ever have questions about that or nuance, dude, reach out to Lucas, reach out to Vinny's on here. He's got a $1 million, $2 million business. Like, I'm excited about growing myself. Anything I can do to answer questions, I'll do the best at where I'm at. Like, and if I don't know, we'll get a special guest on once a month, obviously, and we'll get from the horse's mouth from somebody who has been there, done that. But there is a system, right? Like, there is a way to do this and have luck in your corner and favor in your corner. Like, you asking those questions, the dude's never been asked those, and your role there is to help and advise that guy. And frankly, like, think about that. If a guy comes in, he wants a suit, and you just give him a suit off the rack, you don't know if it's going to fit him, you don't know his colors, you don't know why he's dressing for what occasion, what's your wife or girl wearing. Like, do you like blue, do you like gray, do you like black, do you like 2-button, 3-button, 4-button? Like, do you like big lapels, small lapels? Like, where are you at? And you're just like, no, dude, here's a suit. And by the way, you give him a $199 Men's Warehouse special, and the dude wants a Canali suit for $2,500.
Yeah.
And it's like why everybody else asks questions in professional sales.
Well, I noticed I love talking about this because this is what I've realized I can kind of do on every job, and it just like stuns people. Like when I think the whole conversation like changed with me and this guy is when
the tone.
Like he's like, oh, let's sit down and let's discuss. And when I sat down, I said, yeah, I'd love to find out if we're the correct company for you guys. Instead of oh yeah, let me like what do you want to know about me? I'll trying to sound desperate. I said, yeah, I'd love to find out if we're the correct company for you guys. And it like the whole tone changed. It was very like level, brought everything down, jokes and stuff like that started coming out. So it's like it's like the whole Mark Bradley, like every time you talk to him, it's like he's staring in your soul and says like 7 words, and you're like, I feel like he knows everything about me, and that's the truth. I know exactly what you're talking about with that guy.
Before you turn off the podcast, there are 2 things that we believe you will be highly interested in. First, if you're looking to stay up to date with the latest trends and insights in the world of lawn care, then you'll want to subscribe to our free email newsletter. It shows up in your inbox 3 times a week and includes a Monday motivational to kick off your week, a Wednesday what's new to keep you informed, and a Friday weekly recap of all the content we put out. The second thing is we have just launched Lawntrepreneur Academy Link. Now you can be a part of an exclusive community that links you to those who can help you grow in your lawn care business. Joining Lawntrepreneur Link will give you the tools that you need to stay accountable, get real-time expert advice, and find belonging in a community of folks who are passionate about the lawn care industry just like you. Visit LawnTrepreneurAcademy.com to learn how Link membership gives you unique access to monthly hangouts, bidding hour calls, coaching calls, expert lessons, and more. Stay ahead of the curve and level up your business with a membership to the Lawntrepreneur Academy Link. Find an easy-to-use link in the podcast description.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.
Here's some Fullerton Unfiltered bonus content.
This is the Branded Bull Podcast, a show dedicated to helping take your business to the next level with winning marketing and branding tips and strategies built for today's competitive world. Ready for your business to make its mark and stand out from the competition? Let's get into it.
All right, guys, coming at you live with the Branded Bull Podcast, helping you guys grow a more successful company so you guys can go out there and crush it. All things marketing, all things branding. My name is Brian Fullerton. I am actually Adam Fullerton's brother. I run a company called Brian's Lawn Maintenance, but a little bit of a contributor here on the Branded Bull Podcast. Super excited about this. We've got Adam, of course, in studio. What's going on, brother?
How you doing?
Hey, we're doing another 2-minute Tip Tuesday, which these seem to now be about 5 minutes long. But
we'll work on this, okay? We'll work on this. We'll get down to 2 minutes eventually.
Once you get rid of the bumpers, the middle, the meat is probably about 2.5 minutes. All right. The first episode, we talked about getting your Google business listing going. Fantastic, quick little 3 or 4 minute episode. If you didn't listen to that, go back and check it out. What I want to talk about, Adam, is the biggest mistake people make in having business websites is
either not having one or having one from 1999 and it's terrible and it's just ineffective.
Okay, talk to me about it. Break it down.
Okay, so obviously if you don't have one, well, you don't have one. Nobody can find you. We all go to Google, right? We all type in landscaper near me or plumber near me or whatever it might be. If you don't have a website, well, how are you going to get found? You can't. The second part of it is if you do have a website, but it's 20 years old, it's probably ineffective because the design is terrible. There's no call to action. There's no keywords that are being ranked for on Google and so forth. Lots of different issues. So how do you grow your business if you don't have a website? Well, a lot of people say, well, word of mouth. Cool. But do you know how many people go to Google every single day? That's where the website captures the massive amount of volume of those searches and helps your potential customers find your business, learn more, and reach out. So you have to have a website. It's 2024, and it has to be modern. It has to be effective. Otherwise, you're just spinning your wheels and honestly wasting your marketing dollars.
And it has to be optimized. It has to look good on desktop.
Absolutely.
It has to look good on an iPad, and it has to look good on a mobile device.
Every single device. In this day and age, we're all shopping different ways. We're all on our phones 24/7. You have to be optimized. You have to be ready no matter where the customer's searching in terms of device.
Adam, if they don't have a website, if they have one that's from 1999 and they need some help, where do they go?
That's a great question. Hey guys, we'd love to help you. Come learn more, brandedbolt.com. See some of our examples of our websites. Check them out on any device, and we can totally work with you and help your business grow through a new website or even updating the design. So we're here for you. Visit brandedbolt.com. Like I said, reach out through social media, whatever it is, email us. We've got your back.
Oh, and by the way, at the time of this recording, we should have a brand new website audit guide. So if you guys want to go through there and just look at some FAQs and some good do's and don'ts and some things that maybe are best practices, check out the free audit guide. Punch in your email. We're not here to sell or spam you or anything like that. It's literally just a free gift. I want to bless you guys with that. Check that out. Download it. Go through there. And then maybe you can make some tweaks on your own. And then, like Adam said, if you need some professional help, maybe you can hire Branded Bull and they can help you guys go to the next level. All right. We're shutting down. Thanks for guys for listening into this 2-Minute Tip Tuesday. Hey, make sure you guys hit the follow and subscribe button in the top right corner so you guys get notified every time we drop a new show. And thanks for the support, guys. We appreciate you listening in. We look forward to catching up with you on the next one.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Branded Bull Podcast, the podcast dedicated to giving you expert advice and actionable ideas so that your business can make its mark and stand out from the competition. Like what you heard in today's show? Visit brandedbull.com to see how we can help you achieve your marketing and branding goals. Also, please consider leaving a 5-star review. And again, thanks for listening.